Hey, what's up guys? Theo here, and you might have known that a while back I got a HoloLens, so I thought it would be fun to talk about and show you some of the coolest hologram apps that are currently out for HoloLens. And while I wouldn't exactly say that any of these are very useful, they are still awesome to try. And if you're not super familiar with HoloLens and how it works, it basically has a special projector and a set of lenses inside that can actually insert holograms into your field of view. And these holograms are opaque, so for the most part, you can't see through them, and they really are like true holograms. And the tracking on the HoloLens is actually really good. It's probably one of the best part, and it's done all inside out. So it's right on the headset. You don't have to worry about setting anything up, any tracking stations, no tethering at all. So obviously there are a ton of cool possibilities with this, and here are some of my favorites that I've just found. First is Galaxy Explorer. This was actually made by Microsoft as a part of a contest for HoloLens app ideas. They asked the public to submit ideas and then they picked the best one to make themselves. It basically creates a hologram of the galaxy or the solar system and lets you spin it around, zoom in and out, look at planets and stars, and will also tell you about certain things that you're looking at. You can get in real close and examine things or stand pretty far away and see the whole picture. It's pretty much exactly like you would expect from the sci-fi movies where they're looking at a hologram on a table to plan their next move or whatever. It's a great first example of cool actual informational uses for possible hologram apps. Now next is an app called Actiongram. It's still in beta, but it basically has these 3D objects that you can move around and set in a scene and build an arrangement in whatever environment you want. And then you can also record these moving scenes and make a little movie if you want. So it's mostly just a fun little app, not very useful, but still cool nonetheless. Now some of these objects are stationary, and as I mentioned, some of them move around to make the movie, and they make sounds as well. And it also lets you download 3D objects from the online library they have, so they'll probably be adding a lot more as time goes on. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll have these holographic movies where you put on your HoloLens and then watch a professional movie that people created in your own living room or something like that. The third app is called HoloTour, which takes you on a virtual tour of sorts to different locations around the world, a limited number they have, and they use a 3D scanned environment so you can actually kind of move around in them as well. Now, since HoloLens has a very limited field of view, it's not quite as cool as a virtual tour if you were using a virtual reality headset, but the proof of concept is interesting and has some nice implications for the future. So in future versions of HoloLens a couple years down the line, they will hopefully have much larger field of views, and because it's all untethered, you could basically turn any room into a virtual room and walk around in it and be able to see a monument or a city or anything like that you want to see. So I think this is pretty exciting, not just for what it is now, but what it could turn into in the future. The next app is called RoboRaid, and it's actually a game that Microsoft has demoed a couple times before at conferences. You may have seen it. And this one is interesting because it scans the room that you're in and uses that as the environment to create a game space. So the monsters that you have to fight off actually come through your walls and your windows. And the holograms look good enough where it does kind of actually look like there are holes breaking through your walls. I think that as augmented reality improves over the next several years, we're gonna see a lot more games like this that actually use the current environment you're in the game. I mean, imagine it being able to detect where your doors are and your windows are, and then making it look like the zombies are breaking in or something like that. It would be pretty awesome to actually overlay a fake door where your real door is, and then use that in the game. So almost near the end now, the next app is called HoloMeasure and is probably one of the only kind of useful apps I've found so far. It's pretty simple. It lets you measure distances, area, and volume within your current space, whatever room you're in. And it can do this because the HoloLens has already mapped out the environment with great detail so it can do tracking, and the tracking is very good and accurate. So it already knows the scale of everything. You just point and place these dots anywhere you want, and it will calculate the area or distance within those dots, and then you can switch between metric and imperial as well. Now, obviously, it's not perfectly accurate, and depending on the angle you're looking at it, it can be kind of off because it's not really sure how far away something is, but it is better than expected in terms of accuracy. I found that if you look directly over the spot you want to measure, not at an angle, it's almost perfectly accurate. You can see I tested it with this tape measure for about 6 feet, and if you do it right, it is spot on. It's pretty much exactly 6 feet. So I bet we'll see eventually more of these types of apps that kind of analyze the environment, provide a little bit more information, and can actually be pretty useful. All right, so finally we have HoloBeam Tech. Now this one isn't really an app in itself, it's really just a demo of the technology that the company that created it is working on, but it is awesome. They basically have a system that takes an image from a stereoscopic camera, like a RealSense technology camera or something like that, or maybe an Xbox One Kinect, that same idea, and it creates a 3D model of whatever you're looking at or whoever you're looking at, and then they're able to stream that 3D model of the person so that someone else wearing a HoloLens is able to see that hologram of the person standing in front of them. Now, this demo that I'm showing you in the App Store is only a pre-recording. There doesn't really seem to be any way to do it yourself, but it shows you how it would work. It shows you the general idea. So if you have two people with HoloLenses standing in front of their own 3D cameras, you could basically have a virtual conversation with each other. So I think once this becomes widely available, we can definitely say that we're in the future. I think this is the kind of thing that holograms were made for. It could pretty much revolutionize communication. You wouldn't have to go to a board meeting anymore. Everyone could just wear a HoloLens, hopefully more discreet than the big helmet they have now, but everyone could just sit in a virtual boardroom and see everyone else as if they were there without having to physically be there. And so that's it. Those are 6 HoloLens apps that I thought were really cool and you guys might want to see. But obviously HoloLens is brand new and it's only a developer kit, so as time goes on, I think we're gonna see a lot more development, a lot more cool apps, even more coming out. I know anytime you hear about HoloLens, the thing that everyone wants is a wider field of view because it's pretty limited right now, but I'm sure Microsoft is working on that in ways to improve it, and it's only just gonna get better in the software as well, so I'm super excited to see what comes next. Of course, I'd like to know what you guys think as well, maybe which of these were your favorite, or if you have a futuristic app idea that you want to see, you can actually suggest app ideas to Microsoft. They have a website where you can do that, so don't hold back if you have a killer idea. So we can all talk about that down in the comments section below. And if you did like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to keep watching, I'll put some other videos over here. You can click on these, even if you're on a phone, check them out. And also, if you want to subscribe, I make new videos 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so it should be worth it. And again, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys, so thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.